All right, guys, we have it from someone who ought to know the future, the actual literal future of Bitcoin. No question about it. How could this guy be wrong? Because, well, we'll get there. Thanks for joining us tonight. This is you, me, and BTC episode number 197. I'm Daniel Brown. I'm here with
Tim Baker, just to match him.
And Tim Baker.
And Tim Baker.
Oh, double
am
Tims
Tim
tonight.
Baker.
I'm also from
how's
the
it going,
future.
guys?
I'm also here from the future to warn Tim that I don't know. Never mind. Let's just go.
I'm able to grow a beard in the future. I'm not a complete failure. Oh, yes, I'm finally.
Yeah.
I totally started sharing the wrong screen, so everyone's seeing
say,
Tim right now.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. I turned on the YouTube thing, and then I heard you saying the thing about not being able to hear people.
I was sharing an infinite loop of you, Tim. That's all.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't the only one confused, or maybe I was.
Yeah, guys, like I said, we got futuristic stuff coming up. We got the actual future of Bitcoin, at least according to one person. We'll see if we trust him. But first, the place to be tonight, you, me, and btc.com/live. Video here, chat here, jump in there. We'll have a good time. Show notes, links to the stuff we're going to cover. We're also going to get into some Bittrex news. Apparently, thousands of accounts were shut down over at Bittrex with pretty much no comment from the management for a while. People just had no idea why. So that is all coming up. If you want to keep up with us, like I said, chat's the best place. This is you, me, and btc.com/live. But here it is, guys, from Reddit. It's an old post, but that's part of the reason we want to go over it, is to see how realistic it already is. I am a time traveler from the future, here to beg you to stop what you are doing. There you go. Clearly, this guy knows what he's talking about because he's a time traveler from the future. How? Think he has like an ulterior motive or something?
Oh, no. No one ever has ulterior motives. Remember, we want to make Bitcoin go up because we want everybody to be rich.
That's right. Exactly. Well, here's the thing. The thing about that, making everyone rich, that's kind of the problem here. So, you know, whether or not this guy is correct or telling us the truth or feeding us, you know, CIA lies or whatever, regardless, it's an interesting scenario because the issue that he presents is that Bitcoin does moon hardcore. Bitcoin just more than skyrockets, more than moon rockets, heck, more than star rocket, it like freaking galaxy rockets, whatever, way super high. Okay. And his presentation is, hey, this has got to stop because there's going to be a few people who are filthy rich and they're going to wreck the world. So that's why we're covering this tonight. I thought it was kind of hilarious, kind of fun, kind of interesting, some great talking points. And it's a little long, but I'll read a few random paragraphs, you know, word for word, just for kicks, and we'll do some talking about it. And we'll read some of the comments too. I'm going to actually start with a comment. Well, I'm not going to look for it. I just kind of remember what it said. It was something like, something along the lines of, well, actually, first of all, a bunch of people were like, oh, there's no way he's from the future because of this, this, and this. No, Bitcoin would have done this. Actually, this would have happened. Whatever. Right? A lot of people said that. But then somebody's like, well, actually, he could have just published the Bitcoin block headers from tomorrow. And then by tomorrow, we would know. we would know if he was from the future or not. So he kind of fell short on that point. I don't know what that means. Must be the CIA. But anyway, so yeah, we'll get to the comments. But we're going to read a little bit of this. Before I do read any of it, what do you guys think? What do you guys think would happen?
He's 100% legit, no doubt.
I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he has his reasons for not just saying what happened tomorrow. You know, he has his reasons for not publishing the Bitcoin block headers.
Yeah,
maybe they stole the blockchain away from him or something.
I mean, obviously, if it's in the future, they have further technology. He's probably being blacklisted as we speak in the future, so not really
Exactly,
as we speak.
yeah. I'm sure he only had like a few split seconds to write up this like 20 paragraph thing, so he didn't have time to publish. You know, who am I to know what time travel is? I'd leave it to him. Clearly, he knows. He's a time traveler. Mark G, welcome to the show. Thanks for jumping in the chat. People made a lot of money in Bitcoin since January. Well, we're about to talk about that. So that's what I want to know, guys. I gave you the super generic overview. Do you think that's realistic? Oh, geez. I might have had it stuck on Tim there for a while. I might still have it stuck on Tim.
You're welcome, everybody.
The Hangout tends to be weird. Like once you get it stuck, it's hard to get it unstuck. Anyway, geez, I want to know, guys. What do you think it's realistic that the wrong people will get filthy rich on Bitcoin, and just nothing good will ever come of it? What?
Yeah, I mean, the majority of it, because as the people in the know, the people who a lot of people consider to be bad, the people who people consider to be like fucking people over or just not having the best business practices, they're going to see the financial, everything changing. If everything really does shift towards that, they're going to have money in Bitcoin, but you are going to have still the few people who on their own just bought a bunch of Bitcoin, so they're going to be rich. But it's kind of just something where it's like this, it's not a, Bitcoin isn't a wealth redistribution app or something like that. Like that's not its really
What do
purpose,
you mean?
at least to me.
Anyone has access to Bitcoin. Anyone and everyone. You know.
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, but you still have like me be like, say I wasn't a complete fucking idiot and bought more Bitcoin back when it was $20. Say $500 investment there can still be trumped if someone has literally like $1 billion just to put into Bitcoin now and it continues to go up. Like they're still going to end up having more money than I will, but I'm going to get super rich too. But Bitcoin isn't going to change.
What do you care if Bitcoin makes some people the super elite? It's going to be you. So what difference does it make?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of along for the ride. You're just going to kind of just smile and nod. Just say, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah. No, yeah, lock all those people without Bitcoin outside. I don't care if they don't get soup. Fucking let them eat cake or whatever. Let them eat Bitcoin. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I think that it's going to do something to kind of free up the economic infrastructure now. But the people who have money from benefiting from the economic structure in the past are still going to have a decent holding in this current one, just because they already do have the money.
Yeah. So I agree. I mean, the money is still going to be fairly spread out, and he actually, he explains that. There's a couple companies that have a frig ton of Bitcoin, and a couple people that just kind of went rogue. Let's just dive into it. All right. So I'm sending you this message from the year 2025. Bleak here, and some of you will carry blood on your hands.
Are you doing like George Takei?
I have no idea.
I'm sending this message.
I don't want to waste any of your time. I don't want to waste any of your time, so I'm merely going to explain what happened. On average, every year so far, remember this is 2025, every year so far, the value of Bitcoin has increased by a factor of about 10, from 10 cents in 2010 to $1 in 2011 to $10 in 2012 to $100 in 2013. And that's when this was written, I believe. It says 4 years ago, so sometime in 2013. I don't know how to find the exact date on Reddit, but August 31st, 2013. All right, so $100 in 2013. From now on, there's a slight slowdown as the value has increased by a factor of 10 every 2 years to $1,000 in 2015. Was that accurate? Yeah, I guess so. Somebody pull up a chart, and we'll come back to these numbers.
Yeah, I was about to pull it up. Hold up. Let me see.
All right, so he says $1,000 in 2015, $10,000 in 2017. We might be on track for that, guys. I mean, we're not that far away from 10K. in 2017. 100K in 2019 and $1 million in 2021. From here onwards, there's no good way of expressing its value in dollars, as the dollar is no longer used, nor as any central bank issued currency for that matter. There are two main forms of wealth in today's world: land and crypto. All right. Whoa. Whew.
No, he's a liar. It never got above 450 in 2015.
Oh, idiot. Oh, screw this.
It's a fake.
This is all. Oh, dude,
Man.
I'm pissed off now. This ruins the
Well,
entire show.
He
We're
was
just gonna
so
quit.
convincing. Everything was right up until that moment.
Just sell it. Just sell everything. I'm out. I'm done now.
Yeah, screw this. We're only half as far as he said. That means we're only going to get 500,000 by 2021.
Also, I
Not
really
even worth
hope that someone from the future, like this far ahead, doesn't have any idea how to use current Reddit, because it's just so backwards and just terrible compared to everything they have. So I'd be really pissed off if this dude actually was from 2025.
True.
Okay, what else we got here? There are 19 million Bitcoin known to be used in the world today, as well as a few 100,000 that were permanently lost. To be honest, guys, I would bet that the number of lost Bitcoin is probably going to be more than a few 100,000.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy to lose Bitcoin. I was hearing on Free Talk Live the other day, their story about losing something like 1,000 Bitcoins. It's so easy to lose it. So I bet, if everyone was using it, that would be lost. We're still dealing with the population of just over 7 billion people. On average, this means the average person just owns just under 0.003 Bitcoin. So at that rate, if there's 19 million Bitcoin and 7 billion people, then the average person owns 3 millibits. And that's it. That's their life savings, is 3 millibits. So that's where I want to get, where I can have hordes and hordes of life savings, in my pocket. So maybe we'll get there. However, due to the unequal distribution of wealth in my world, the mean, I don't know why there's no difference between average and the mean, is there? I don't know. He says something about the mean person has 1 millibit. Anyway, so yeah, so that's a, I don't know what he's talking about with averages there, but he does mention the wealth distribution, the unequal wealth distribution. Theoretically, that could be pretty darn serious. I mean, what do you think, Zach? So a little farther down, he says companies like ASIC Miner, the IMF, Saudi Arabia, and North Korea all have tens of thousands of Bitcoins, 50,000, 70,000, 110,000, and 180,000 respectively. So that's what I want to ask next.
Well,
if he was true, what would that mean if the average person had a millibit and these governments had, 110,000 Bitcoin? Take it away.
Wait, 1 millibit?
Yeah, 1 millibit. So that's what he said. I don't know, between 1 and 3. I don't know what the difference he's talking about between average and mean. But if the average person has 1 to 3 millibits, then what does it mean then if Saudi Arabia has 110,000 Bitcoin?
I don't know. You got North Korea right, because everyone knows they're mining, and then the IMF has said tons of stuff about how.
That's why we did that just a few weeks ago. That's why she was so interested in Bitcoin, because she wants to hoard it. She wants to have 70,000 under her belt. 25.
Yeah.
What were we thinking? How do we not catch that?
Well, so we can just chalk up his 2015 glaring error in price record to him. He was just typing it so quickly, he forgot.
Well, actually, if you're sending a message back in time, you're going to fuck up a few times with how nervous you are, probably.
well, that's true too. Remember, he only had a split second. But also, to be fair, he was just saying like roughly by a factor of 10 from this year to this year. So if we were, at all over 500, he could say, well, it's, round up, it's a factor of 10 scale of things.
So all right, maybe. True. He's totally legit now. I'm back in. I'm buying.
There we go. This is it, guys. We're good. We're good. IMF, Saudi Arabia, North Korea. It's getting fun. All right, so here's some fun type stuff. No matter how true it is or not, this just makes a fun sounding story. That's another reason I wanted to cover this. So he says, "Oh, hold on. We didn't finish. I still want to know, guys. What? Seriously, like if person had a millibit and the government had, like I said, 100,000 Bitcoins, you know, do you think that could happen with Bitcoin? And what would it mean if it did?" I mean, clearly it does happen because this guy says so. But so what does that mean?
So what will it mean when we reach his future?
Yeah, exactly.
I think. Well, I just think it's always funny to. I mean, I don't know what it'll mean, but I think. What am I trying to say? So people talk about the government could take down Bitcoin if they bought everyone's Bitcoin and then said, "Haha, fuck you, no one's getting any." But I think it's funny to remember back in the good old days when the FBI was a Bitcoin whale because they stole, they confiscated, seized
from
all
the Silk
of his,
Road.
Yeah. And I bet
they sold it for probably a couple $100 a pop. I don't remember when it was.
Yeah, but I bet they regret selling it, not just because they could sell it today for like a lot more. I don't know the exact percentage, or just because I don't know, the FBI is behind the ball now. So
exactly, yeah. I'm sure they do regret selling that. But whoever, Karl Mark Force, the rogue FBI agent, I'm sure he doesn't regret stealing Bitcoin around that time from the Silk Road.
You know, he had to have dumped a few dozen Bitcoin in some paper wallet, and it's like, true. I'm gonna hold on to this.
He's just waiting to get it. He's got his brain wallet in prison. It's probably what we always talk about. He has some brain wallet because he's like, oh fuck it, I'll do this. Because they definitely trained him to remember shit too. Yeah. And he's just hoping he doesn't get hit too many times. That would be the most annoying. Is you get hit too many and you can't remember where you stashed $500 million.
Yeah, exactly. Hey guys, before I move on with some of this sci-fi story type stuff, well, non-fi, I'm going to just remind you, hey, check out me and btc.com/live. You got a chat box there. So if you have any predictions for the future,
or if you are from the future and have something to tell us, please tell us.
True too. That is dead true. We need help understanding what it means. But seriously. So, what else we got here? Most of you reading this today are too rich. I personally live next to an annoying young man who logged into his old Reddit account 2 years ago and discovered that he received a tip of 10 millibits, several life savings if everyone has 1 to 3 millibits, and he found 10 in Reddit. That's quite a bit of money. That was that he received back in 2013 for calling someone a faggot when he was a 16-year-old boy. What? Upon making this discovery, he bought an airline ticket, left his house without telling anyone anything, and went to a citadel. Citadel, you might wonder? Bitcoin became worth $1,000. Services began to emerge for the Bitcoin rich to protect themselves as well as their wealth. So here's the question. We're over $1,000. So theoretically, these services to protect the Bitcoin rich would already exist. Do we know of any of those? Or are they just like underground services as of right now?
Well, they have all those like end of the world silo chambers that go hundreds, maybe thousands of feet below the ground. And so if the fiat rich
want bunkers, and we'll get you set up.
Yeah. If the fiat rich go bankrupt, then the Bitcoin rich just take over. I don't know.
Yeah. So hey, for all we know, this is already going on according to this guy from the future. So
Why didn't he tell?
And all you got to
tell us more? Why didn't he tell us how World War III ends?
Yeah,
Why didn't he tell us?
Fuck that. Why didn't he just tell us, like, if he is from the future, he could have sent this at any time. Just be like, hey, buy some more Bitcoin beforehand, and it's going to go way the fuck up. Which I actually just did a little bit of math. In one of the sales the FBI did, they've lost over $100 million now from the price. And that makes me so fucking happy.
I was going to say, yeah, good. I'm glad. They don't need that.
I'm not going to pretend to trust Tim's math, but I'm sure it's a really high number. So,
it's a rough thing.
I still don't trust you.
It's a rough estimate.
I took calculus with Tim, or I don't know, did I?
I didn't even take calculus, which might be a point, but fuck you.
You took accounting, business accounting. So
yep. Nothing with the price. Fuck you.
It started with expensive safes.
What'd you say?
Then began to
sorry.
Tim.
Just go.
Remember, this guy's in a rush. We got to get out his message before it disappears. It started with expensive safes. Those I'm sure exist already. Like, you know, hardware Bitcoin wallets. Those are services for the Bitcoin rich, stuff like that. Then it began to include bodyguards, and today, earlies in quotation mark are term for early adopters, as well as those rich whose wealth survived the transition, also in quotation marks. Apparently, there's a big transition coming. Where was I? So today, earlies live in isolated, gated cities called citadels, where most work is automated. Most such citadels are born out of the fortification used to protect places where Bitcoin mining machines are located. The company known as ASIC Miner is known to me only as a city where Mr. Friedman rules as king. So that's another good theoretical question. You know, let's say people did get filthy rich and things did go a little bit wrong. Would the Bitcoin rich be the miners? What's the relationship between the Bitcoin rich and the miners? Do they have to be the miners? Does it matter who's a miner at that point? I guess it matters.
I don't know if it matters who the miners are. I think, especially around the great transition that is coming, if enough people, well, I guess it's not necessarily true, but enough people could run, and maybe theoretically would run. At least I could foresee plenty of people running nodes, but not obviously necessarily being miners. And so it wouldn't matter if the miners are the super rich ones.
True. And another thing is, with mining pools, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to be a whale to be a miner. I mean, it helps, I guess. You know, you have a little better margins and, you know, more efficiency when it comes to paying for electricity. But in general, I mean, fine. You know, you're going to run your phone anyway. Why not put a mining chip in it? And
do those exist?
Yeah, they're getting there. Not yet, but
sweet.
It's been you know, theorized and in the works maybe for a while.
Yeah.
You gotta ask this guy.
His Why name, did he tell us so many things?
His name, if you're curious, is Luka Magnotta. For whatever that's worth. Apparently, I click on his username and it 404s. So maybe he really did only have a few seconds and then had to disappear.
Yikes.
So anyone could be a miner, kind of, unless, man, I guess if you really were big enough, you really would have so much efficiency that you would just drive out anyone that was mining with less hardware. Maybe, you know, you could mine underground in frickin' Siberia, and you know, your machines are all cooled and whatnot. I don't know. Okay, what else do I want to read here? Well, I'll just carry on, I guess. World, soon to be your world. Most governments no longer exist. That's the fun one. Governments no longer exist. In the voice, so you know when I'm in the fiction and when I'm commenting on the fiction. as Bitcoin transactions are done anonymously, and thus most governments can enforce no taxation on their citizens. I'll take that one too, any day. Most of the success of Bitcoin is due to the fact that Bitcoin turned out to be an effective method to hide your wealth from the government. Whereas people entering rogue states like Luxembourg, Monaco, and Liechtenstein unmanned drones to ensure that governments know who is hiding wealth. No such was available. People from hiding their money. So that's a good point, I guess. With Bitcoin, which we've said countless times before, it's easy to take across borders. But you know, we never really, I don't think anyway, thought too much about the other side. No matter where you go in the world, no matter how free you might think this plot of land is, like Liechtenstein or wherever they have, you know, Roger Vere's upcoming Bitcoin freedom country or whatever, no matter how free it is, you still can't really safely take gold in there. You guys think that's realistic? If one day governments are watching random pine trees just to see who takes all their wealth in there, could that happen? Or I don't know,
like,
maybe
literally every important part of that sentence. It like jumbled up and gave me only the parts where like Bitcoin and then it would the rest of it. But I'm going to ask you if this is what you meant. Did you mean, is it like, does it make sense to carry gold, or that governments would try to stop gold from getting out of their borders?
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering if governments really would be watching gold that carefully.
Yeah. Well, because they already did it. They already confiscated gold in this country. I mean, they do it plenty of other countries, but I was reading I think.
Well, then what do you do, Tim? You're the one who said just last week. You're the one who said, I think just last week, that you know, if you are kind of a Bitcoin rich and you want to kind of hide somewhere, you told people to get gold and guns. So which is it?
I mean, it's if you're moving, like you don't put all, if you need to travel first, don't put it in guns or gold, because if you show up at the airport with 50 guns, it doesn't matter if you do all the right you go through everything correctly. They're going to be like, why are you, no, where you're going to Dubai? No, fuck off. You're staying here. So yeah, if you're fine where you are, because there's plenty of people like, my family's here and I like my land, I'm going to sit in a bunker, and yeah, that's whatever. But if people are actually going to, and that's part of the reason why they would say they are going to go to like different countries where they don't worry about taxes so much, because it is Bitcoin. It's going to be really easy. If gold goes up, which if there's inflation could also happen very easily, then those people are going to be more incentivized by the gold just to stick around, just because it's not that easy to move around and it's not super portable. I mean, it's better than like silver for storing value and moving with it, but I wouldn't trust the TSA with it. I mean, that's almost like too much to give away now. Like, I wouldn't do it now. That's just me being more paranoid, because they're not going to be like, oh, he won't notice an entire gold bar leaving. But I think you have to at least get on the plane, not like walk up. Why is my fucking suitcase 5 pounds later now? But I do think that, especially when money gets tighter, or they are more worried about the evil people who are trying to benefit from the economic collapse. Because I remember I think it was Roosevelt made a speech, or the guy during World War II. I guess there was another Roosevelt. Never mind. No, it was either Theodore, who's a fucking crazy ass dude who just rode on horses and killed people with swords. But they talk about the evil influence of the speculators, and they're like, they're ruining the economy. It's like, no, you fuckers ruined the economy, and then you blamed it on people trading gold and silver. And it's like, well, they're taking money out of the country and then bringing in foreign dollars, and then blah blah, because everyone was so about isolationism back then. They don't really make that argument anymore. But I think if money got tight, they would probably start doing that again. Like at first, you'd have people giving speeches about how it's unpatriotic to leave. We'd start getting those, and then eventually they would just be like, "No, you can't leave with your gold." Like, why would we? I mean, if they don't just out now confiscate it, then yeah, they're at least going to not want you to leave with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, geez. What do you do? You got to take somebody in the chat, Mark G, just a few seconds ago, was asking about, what up, Truste? Thanks for joining us. Mark G was asking about a guy that bought 100,000 Ethereum at 20 cents. Was he a genius or was he a gambler? And that relates to what you were just saying, Tim. At least in my head, there was a connection, because you got to ask the same question with anything. You know, should I go into gold? It's kind of a gamble. Should I go into Bitcoin? Kind of a gamble. No matter what you do, people are going to want your money. Like, I called it a gamble. I think no matter where you put your money, whether it's in gold, whether it's in dollars, whether it's in freaking spaceship stocks, you know, whether it's in Bitcoin, whether it's in altcoins, no matter where you put your money, you're a gambler. And I've said that before on the show. Like, no matter what, wherever you choose to invest your money, you could lose it, even in dollars, even in gold, even in silver.
Yeah, well, that's people, they don't really get like, oh, I don't want to invest my money. Like, some people just sit on their money just forever, and it's like, what do you even? Oh, I don't want to invest it. It was like, well, you're just fucking watching it piss away with fucking inflation. It's still a bet. You're still like betting that they're going to keep it. Yeah, go.
Yeah, that's exactly the point that we've tried to make several times on the show. It's like, even doing nothing is a gamble because of inflation. So, and I don't even. I have to do something with my money, so I'm going to make the best guesses I can. Straight up with you, I have no idea what. So whatever I do may or may not work out for me or for you. So they want your money bad. So either was the answer according to Tim. Yeah, good question. Good question, Tim. Hey, James Bond, are you from the past, the present, or the future?
I'm saying, like, what Bond? Is he Sean Connery? Is he Craig? Or is he just some? He's going to be the first.
Well, what if he is
transitional
from the future?
James Bond? What?
The future.
Yeah, the new. Who plays Bond now, man? Reddit, man. Because obviously you're listening to this. I'm fucking retarded.
No,
hello, sir.
We talked about this. He only had a few seconds, and then he had to split.
Yeah, but what if he is one of our listeners? What if he is like Truste, who's just oh, guys, no, because I can't really see the icon. It looks like kind of like a futuristic kind of look. But what if it is one of these people who sees it, and we're actually part of the Citadel, and everybody hates us now.
Well, maybe we will be. I mean, we did get in kind of early, so I'm going to skip a paragraph here because it's about like economic growth and like -2% and inflation. And people were arguing back and forth about it. Like, what? Oh, inflation is the opposite of economic growth. Or, you know, I don't care about talking about those kind of specifics. Or I didn't even care to reread it and figure out what they were arguing about in the comments. I didn't even care. I don't feel like talking about 2% economic growth versus inflation, or whether that's incentive to hold or to spend, through that argument right now. So here's another fun paragraph. What happened to the Winklevoss twins? The Winklevoss twins were among the first to die. Enormous.
I love
seeing the enormous damage done to the fabric of society, terrorist movements emerged that sought to hunt down and murder anyone known to have a large balance of Bitcoin, responsible in any way for the development of cryptocurrency. Ironically, these terrorist movements use Bitcoin to anonymously fund their operations. Terrorists sprouted up.
This would make life so much more interesting. There's like terrorist people out there looking for me, man.
Well, if you're that rich, it's going to happen. Oh, hey, totally random, but related to this. There's a guy on Twitter named Jameson or something. Apparently, he was swatted because of his Bitcoin positions just this week. They called in a bunch of police people because they didn't like his Bitcoin positions. So that could happen. There's already idiot people coming after Bitcoin people. So yeah, that's the theory here from the future is that terrorists are going to sprout up and go after anyone that has Bitcoin. Or he also says anyone that's responsible for developing cryptocurrency. I don't really know why the terrorists would care about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
are they
it's
worried
because
about...
it would be because how it destroyed the world and it made everybody super, super rich. That by developing it or promoting it, we caused more people to buy it or whatever for everything to happen. So we won't be the first to die, but we'll be like maybe 200th to be like lined up against the wall and be like, they always said that you should buy it and they provided content and then just
okay. I thought I don't know. I thought when he said development, I thought he meant the actual programmers.
Oh, I'm sure that would be it too. They would line up a bunch of skinny dudes
but even us, like if we weren't rich, let's say they knew about YMB, I'm sure they will. Who wouldn't, in 10 years?
Obviously.
I mean, who doesn't right now? They know about us, but for whatever reason, we're not Bitcoin rich. Why would they come after us again? Just because they hate Bitcoin and they see us as causing it? Or helping cause it?
It'd be
like what do the terrorists care about supported Bitcoin if they don't have Bitcoin?
Well, because you'd be assumed to have it, and because you wouldn't really be able to prove that you didn't, they'd probably come after you.
Yeah.
I just figure like whenever these purges happen in like history, it starts with people involved, then it kind of goes to their families, and it kind of goes to friends, and it kind of goes to that one guy you maybe heard say something. So I think that's why I'm saying we're not going first. We're going like a little bit down the line because I feel like it's just going to be too much. The YouTube things are going to they made almost 200 episodes. They at least did something with this. We have to kill them out of general principle. But if they literally are hunting down, huh? Well, yeah, they're not going to go all the way back to our live episodes.
Speaking of the future, how far do you think we're going to get, Tim? Seriously, I want to know your actual like, based on your life position and my life position. We already lost John. Rest in peace. Rest in friggin' hell, I guess.
Where is he? What is he doing?
He gave up on us. I don't know. He's never even turned us down. He just never responds when I'm like, hey, who's in tonight? He's never even like, yeah, I got something going on. He's just like,
wait, was that okay? I didn't know if that was a joke or if you were cutting out again. How far are we gonna get? I'm going to use this to lightly stroke my ego for as long as I can. Daniel will bail out whenever Merritt tells him that he shouldn't be talking to guys on the internet. It's weird. And Zach will stay here probably for like a month with me just to make fun of Daniel, and then he'll be like, all right, Tim's getting like on the edge of something. And I'll just do it from then on by myself, and then eventually kill myself on Skype because I'm not going to use Google Hangouts. No, I'm not doing live. You have to pay for like the ultimate subscription to get me killing myself.
True.
Wait, that's how far we're gonna go.
You broke up quite a bit, Tim. What was the actual number you guessed at?
Oh, I didn't give any number. 4 years before like, well, I don't know. Maybe in 4 years, like literally.
We're already at 4 years.
Another 4 years, I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
I'd say we make it till Bitcoin breaks 1 million, and then we just implode. All of us die.
Yeah. At that point, like, screw this.
That's when the power struggle happens, because then Zach and I are like, hey, Daniel, where's all that money you owe us? And then he's like, I bought Merit. I bought
LaCroix.
To be completely honest, that could be what stops us when Bitcoin. When Bitcoin is worth that much, it's like, honestly, guys, why are we wasting our time on the internet anymore? Like, we don't need to support Bitcoin anymore. We don't need to make money anymore. Like, what are we doing?
We don't need friends. We don't need any of you in the chat. We don't need anyone.
That was the next thing.
Buy a couple islands.
Right after what Daniel finished with, it's like most people who have Bitcoin no longer speak to their families and lost their friends. I'm like, that sounds perfect. That sounds amazing. I want to go back to my parents and be like, hi, how are you? What did you do fun this week? Oh, I don't know. My money just fluctuated like a motherfucker because it keeps, I don't know. I'm confused. I'm on edge most of the time.
Geez. So, hey, we're going to wrap up this story and leave the rest up to the reader, because we'll jump into a little bit of Bittrex. Got like halfway through, so please enjoy it. Also, since it's breaking up still a little bit here, I meant to tell people at the beginning of the show, and I'm no longer wired in, so we got to hope for the best and see how well we can make it work. Because you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it right here. Take a minute to friggin' oust, just berate, destroy Cox. All right, Cox sucks. Cox is the worst.
I hate Cox.
I literally so much. But no, I'm serious. I'm taking this opportunity. It was not planned, but I really want to just screw them on the air.
Hey, everybody tweet Cox.
Yeah, seriously. Screw Cox every day. Just screw Cox and screw Cox. They implement. Okay. So our two options here are CenturyLink and Cox. We decided we liked Cox because they were supposed to be a little bit more expensive, but way better service.
Way better service from the Cox. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But so they were fine for a while. We went through some pretty crappy misunderstandings and bills were messed up, but they gave us a statement credit, whatever. But then they implemented a 1 terabyte data cap. So every month we only get 1 terabyte. Well, that didn't. And if you go over, you have to pay an extra $10 per 50 gigabytes. So we were paying about 60 to 70 bucks a month. All right, before the data cap. And our alternative was probably about 40 bucks a month. So we were paying a little more, 60 to 70, say Cox or better, so whatever. And then they implemented this data cap, and all of a sudden we're slammed with a $180 bill for 1 month. So that was the end of that. Now we're going to CenturyLink for about 55 bucks a month, everything included. So I don't like them either, but just I really had to screw Cox on the air. So
yeah, screw those Cox.
We'll cover a real quick overview of Bittrex, and then we'll do some advice of the week, and then we will hop off, just like I hopped off Cox this week.
Yes, you hopped off the Cox.
All right, so another reminder, guys, last few minutes, if you want to jump in the chat, me and btc.com/live is the place to be. That's where you can chat with us. So there are 2 stories in the show notes, also at the same link. Although if you're listening to this later, quick reminder, /live always goes to the current episode. So if you want to get to this one in particular, go to me and btc.com/E197. And that will have links to these Bittrex stories and the time travel story if you want to finish it. So basically what happened was, I'm not going to read this one word for word. I'll just give you an overview. Basically, Bittrex just shut down accounts left and right. There's some sort of error message down here. There's a screenshot if you can see my screen. It basically says your account cannot be automatically enabled right now because you requested your account to be disabled, or you tried to verify your account, but it's already used, but your identification was already used. Your account and disabled it, whatever. So there's a couple reasons there. But yes, thousands and thousands of accounts were getting shut down. But the biggest concern was that the management was just dead silent. They didn't say a word. They you know, they said stuff. No, they didn't say anything. They did stuff. They even supposedly they went so far as to ban people on their Slack channels who were asking what was going on. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty big deal. Now the other story is also from Cointelegraph. They came out and said they kind of had an excuse, like, oh, I will read this quote from Bittrex. We occasionally conduct compliance reviews and are working vigilantly to protect our service and our users from harm. As part of a compliance review, we have temporarily suspended certain accounts pending the completion of the review. The total number of suspended, closed, or banned accounts is very limited. Less than 0.1% of the total accounts on Bittrex, more than 99.9% are unaffected. Well, sure, but that's still thousands of accounts. So, you know, that's the best they got is, you know, it's compliance, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So the moral of the story, the reason, well, first of all, it's just news. It can't hurt to cover news. But the reason it never hurts to bring up like this, beware, okay? Beware of exchanges. Bittrex was a big one for Bitcoin Cash. They supported it fairly early on, and they're based in the US. So a lot of people put Bitcoin Cash onto Bittrex for that trading. Well, actually, they did also say somewhere in this story that most of the accounts that were closed were from, I don't know if I can find it fast enough, but the US was not on the list. They said most of the accounts were from like Iraq. I got to find it. I really want to see this list now. Let me do this Control F thingy here. Oh, here it is. Syria, India, Iran, Russia, Pakistan, and Turkey. So Iraq was not on that list. But anyway, so the U.S. is also not on that list. So anyway, beware. That's the moral of the story. I'm going to go ahead and make that my advice of the week because that fits with freaking everything, all right? I don't even have to explain that one. Just freaking beware. You know, beware of the freaking dog. Beware of your freaking Bitcoin getting stolen. Beware of exchanges. Beware of Coinbase. Beware of Bittrex. Beware of time travelers because they're going to have to split real soon. Apparently, that's how time travel works. And they have to delete their Reddit account as well. But seriously, like, I'm joking, but also I'm serious. Like, literally, this stuff can happen. So literally, just watch out for it. Get your money off an exchange as soon as you can. You know, if you use Bittrex to dump your Bitcoin Cash, you got to do that. But then just get your Bitcoin off the exchange once you have it. So that's my advice. That's my coverage of Bittrex. I'm turning it over to these two for their last final words. Because
you're probably better off giving your brain wallet to someone with Alzheimer's than keeping your Bitcoin on an exchange.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're giving it to someone with Alzheimer's, they're never going to steal your money. So,
it's the ultimate safe.
Exactly. They say, what's the phrase go? Like 3 people can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead, or if 2 of them have Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Thoughts on Bittrex and advice? Or
I don't know, man. Closing. My advice, so we talked about last week how free money is great with all the forks, but I'm also tired of having so many forks, man. Like,
oh yeah, it's a lot to keep
takes
track
a lot
of.
of work. It takes a lot of work to harvest all the new coins.
That is
and
true. That is a serious problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just like we all well, actually someone tweeted Bitstein on Twitter, who's like I guess a lot of people follow him or whatever. He's like, it's 2017 and Ethereum is still a scam. So he thinks everything's a scam if it's not Bitcoin, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to live happy, dude. So that's my advice. Just be happy.
Live happy.
Friggin' right. Don't worry. Be happy now.
Yeah.
Was
you
the
there.
worst.
I am. All right, Tim, what you got for us? Hit me.
Okay, I really wish I could.
Hit me.
Bittrex, yeah, no, it's not a good idea to keep your money on an exchange because they can stop, and it's not. Yeah, it might be for a valid reason, it might not be, but it doesn't really matter because you're giving them the access to your coins, so they can pretty much do.
Oh yeah.
Whatever they want.
It's not just trusting that they're good people. Like they might never run away with your money, but they could get hacked, or they could have trouble, splitting your coins into Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. I think that happened.
Yeah, and there's a
Coinbase when Ethereum. Anyway, they had trouble. They lost coins because they didn't play the transactions right during a fork. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, and it doesn't help you at all to save it there, because you can make the argument like a bank is good for money because they have the insurance there and it's more guarded than you, but especially because the insurance, but it doesn't make it does you no good to have it on that. Like even just having it on your
I don't know if
phone,
I'd agree.
How does having it on in an exchange like that work? An exchange that doesn't, where you don't.
I mean, it depends. It depends on your needs. I mean,
you just have it in a wall. Like you can get hacked, but then you're not trusting a third.
Have you never lost, a note that a phone number that you wrote down? Have you never lost a receipt? Yeah, you're going to be careful because it's Bitcoin, but you got to weigh those risks. I'm not saying you should keep it on an exchange. All I'm saying is it does have benefits because you don't have to worry about your own self if you're clumsy or whatever.
I'm not talking about a paper wallet. I'm talking about like on a phone or something like that.
Phones break. Oh, you got to make sure it's backed up dead right, or your money's gone. You take your phone with you everywhere and drop it twice a day, sometimes from water towers. I mean, you can't trust that. That's all I'm saying. I still don't think you should keep it on exchange, but I am saying that that's the benefit of, if you really trust them, benefit is, well, at least you don't have to worry about it. There is a benefit. So my advice of the week is don't listen to Tim because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Daniel got something happened at a water tower that I'm now concerned with.
No, I mean, my brother just dropped his phone off a water tower. That was it. It happened.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't happen, Daniel. Anyway, my advice is fuck Daniel because he just freaked out and yelled at me, and now I feel really bad. So everybody tweet him and make him angry. Send him anatomy pictures. And take that however you will. That could. Oh, what if you like ask for news that way? Like, yo, girl, give me some of that anatomy. News what way? Give me some of that anatomy. Anyway,
I'm so lost right now.
Doesn't really matter. Forget about it,
guys. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, fine. Just talk over me. It's fine. Hi, guys. Bye. Thanks for being here.
What about Bittrex, Tim?
I didn't really have anything else. I'm sorry.
Thanks for joining us. I apologize for Tim, as always. I can't let him go. It's so, I can't say why because I can't let him go on the show. So,
what?
Thanks for joining us. Me and BTC coming at you from the future. Or actually, from now on, we will, anytime anyone's listening to this, from the past. So that's time travel, right? We're in the past now, and we're going to be speaking to people in the future. So we are time travelers. It's a real thing. And that's how we know that this Reddit post was real. So in the meantime, guys, until next week, head to youmeandbtc.com. We'll see you there. We'll have a good time. Views, calculators, old episodes, more time travel, whatever you like. It's the place to be. Thanks for jumping in the chat, everyone. Trust Tay, Mark G, Robert A, Go Ethereum, Hodl, 007. It's been a blast. We'll catch you next Thursday, same time, same place, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern at youmeandbtc.com/live. Shout out just for the Bitcoin price, 5,700. I'll celebrate that today because why not? And I wanted to say one more thing. Oh, of course. Screw Tim. Screw Tim and screw John because his music right now sucks. Thanks for joining us, Tay. Great
I
advice.
don't get screwed. Ha!
Shut the fuck up, Zach.
And screw Zach and screw everyone else that's ever been on this
you
show.
don't need to take out your anger on me, and you can't really take it out on John just because he's never going to respond to you.
Tim and I, for everyone listening, Tim and I are going to be on this show live streaming Daniel's wedding whenever he and Merritt get married, and we're going to roast the shit out of him. So stay tuned. We'll give you a show to remember.
Please watch.
This could be bad. Thanks for joining us, Trust Tay. She says exchanges are like public restrooms. Get in and get out. Apologies for the music again. We'll see you next Thursday. You, me, and BTC.com.